Welcome to councillors, members of the public and staff, present in person and joining online and watching online this evening. The time being 6:31 p.m. I declare the ordinary council meeting of 28th October 2025 open. This meeting will be conducted under the provisions of the Local Government Act 1993 and the Council's adopted Code of Meeting Practice. Specifically, persons in the gallery are advised they may not record the proceeding of a meeting of a council or committee without the authority of the council or committee. Mobile phones must be turned to silent so as not to disrupt the meeting. Using mobile phones to record the meeting without whether audio or visual is not permitted. This meeting is live streamed and a recording will be made available on Council's website to allow the community to follow Council debates and decisions. Members of public attending or speaking at the meeting agree to have their image, voice, and personal information, including name and address, recorded and publicly broadcast. Strathfield Council does not accept liability for any defamatory remarks or inappropriate comments that are made during the course of a meeting. Any part of meeting that is held in closed session will not be streamed. The mayoral diary from September and October 2025 and the expenses claimed by all councillors has been tabled for your information as per Resolution 147/19. Councillors, in accordance with the mandatory provisions of the Model Code of Conduct, I will remind you of your obligation to faithfully and impartially carry out the functions, powers, authorities, and the discretions vested under the Local Government Act 1993 or any other act to the best of your ability and judgment. Councillors, we are here to act in the public's best interests as we consider and determine the business on the agenda. I would ask that you show respect to each other and the community we serve and work with me to progress matters tonight. I will call councillors to order should there be a need to do so. The first item is a moment of reflection. I would now like to ask everyone who is able to stand for the moment of reflection. We pray that our deliberation today will be objective and the decisions are impartial and made for the benefit of our whole community. Let's begin by acknowledging the Wangal people, the traditional custodians of the land on which this meeting is being held. We pay respect to elders, past, present, and emerging. Thank you. Now you can all resume your seats. Apologies. There's no apologies so far? Yeah, thank you. Disclosure of interests. Does any councillors wish to make any disclosure of interest? Councillor Matthew Bremo?
Yes, I have a couple, so slowly go through. I'll just make sure. Correct. I'll declare a non-significant, non-pecuniary interest on EO2. I work in the town centre in Strathfield, but I will be staying in the meeting to vote on that matter, because it's not significant non-pecuniary. One second. PE2. I know a number of people who own property within these conservation precincts, but it's a non-significant non-pecuniary. The changes being made do not affect those individual properties, so I'll be staying in the meeting to discuss that one as well. 10.9, Oxford Road time parking. I'll declare a non-significant non-pecuniary conflict. Former mayor, former councillor, who relatively close with, lives in this street. I'll be leaving the chamber on that vote. EO4, in relation to potential property transaction, it's non-significant non-pecuniary. I am a licensed real estate agent, but doesn't affect me or my business personally, so I'll be staying in the meeting for that one as well.
Yeah, it's in the...
Yeah, CCS 6, non-pecuniary, non-significant, due to living in close proximity to the area in question. CCS 6.
Correct?
Yes, I'm same as Councillor Blackmore.
Are you going to stay in the meeting?
Yes, staying in the meeting.
Thank you.
10.9, Oxford Road timed parking. I have worked with the former mayor, former councillor Vicari, and I will be leaving the chamber.
Thank you. Councillor Brady?
Yes. So 10.9 is a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest, the same as the other two mentioned, a close friend. But I don't actually believe, and I'm happy to check, that the language doesn't necessarily impact that individual's home. I believe that's not. It's the same road, correct, but it's a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest, so I'll stay in the room for that. And for P2 as well, I also have a non-pecuniary, non-significant interest in that, and the relationship is a number of relationships, friendships, I would say, with people who happen to live in the various HCAs across Strathfield, but it's non-pecuniary, non-significant, so I'll stay in the room. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor King? No, you're okay. So, all right.
Oh, it's living.
Okay, councillors, I got my conflict of interest with the item P2, the planning proposal, for Harris Conservation Areas, because I'm the property owner in the Welfare Street block. So I will leave the room and let the deputy chair to chair the meeting at the time. All right. Acknowledgements, councillors. The purpose of acknowledgements is to recognize the many great contributions that are made from and for our community. In that spirit, we should ensure that positive comments are provided for the public discourse. Councillors, does anyone have any acknowledgement that they wish to bring before the meeting? Councillor Bremo?
Yeah, I'll just acknowledge questioning the validity of the mayor and deputy mayor election held at the council meeting last month. I vehemently contest that the mayor and deputy mayor election was carried out according to established procedures and processes. Until the independent review by an outside organisation in relation to irregularities, procedures and process involved in conducting the mayoral and deputy mayoral election at the 30 September council meeting has been conducted and finalised with the results printed at the first available council meeting. I don't recognise the legitimacy of the result of the mayoral and deputy mayoral election. The claim that the election was a matter of urgency was absurd. The result of the mayoral and deputy mayoral election held at the October council meeting has been known to everyone for at least 13 months, September. No vote was taken to confirm the election of a Deputy Mayor was a matter of urgency. I take this opportunity to remind everyone that the lodging of a rescission motion is very important as it provides councillors to review, consider and correct any previous decision of council, which were made in error based on an incorrect factual piece of information. I strongly reject the reason communicated to me last week for the rescission motion in relation to Resolution 320-25, matter of urgency, and 322-25, election of Mayor, and 324-25, election of Deputy Mayor, being excluded from the business papers for the October meeting.
Any? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Kathy and the engineering and ops team for so rapidly and effectively responding to my request for new plant beds and additional zebra crossings along Burlington Road, particularly at the intersection at Rochester Street and Burlington. Not only does this work perfectly align with my focus on creating a cleaner and greener Strathfield, but it's also made the area significantly safer for pedestrians. Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, just other councillors speaking while another councillor speaking.
One warning.
I'm genuinely impressed by how thoughtfully and professionally the project has been delivered. Even my original scribbled suggestion on paper could never have captured how fantastic the finished result would look. So thank you to everyone involved for your hard work, especially Kathy, the attention to detail and commitment to improving the daily experience of residents and visitors alike. The outcome is a real credit to the team and a wonderful example of what can be achieved when good ideas are backed by skilled execution.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other announcement? Councillor Northworthy?
I'd like to acknowledge the 8th anniversary of the Australian Asian Women's Association, which was celebrated over the weekend. It's an organisation that brings together various members of the community to provide information, education, networking, to strengthen women in our area and uplift them in the corporate world and various other spheres of work and community support.
Thank you. Any other acknowledgements? All right. We go to the confirmation of minutes. Who is going to? Oh, okay. Councillor Reddy is going to move the motion. Councillor Barry seconded. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the motion? If not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Councillor Barry, Councillor Kim, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Benjamin Chai. I declare the motion. Oh, okay. Those against is Councillor Pensabini, Councillor Northworthy, and Councillor Bremo. I declare the motion carried. Okay, now we go to councillors. I have mayoral minutes, 24 to 25. Acknowledgement of our backyard river campaign objectives on the agenda and the move that it be adopted. Councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against the minutes?
Make a motion.
The mayoral minutes.
Mayoral minutes, 7.1.
Mayoral minute.
44.
1 second, Mr.
Cook's River.
It's your mayoral minute, Mr.
All right, I now put the minute to vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand.
Cook's River. No?
Councillor Brady, Councillor Kim, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Benjamin. Those against? Councillor Pensabini, Councillor Rory, Northworthy, and Councillor Bremo. I declare the motion carried. All right, now we go to the items by exception. In accordance with Section 13 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice items can be dealt with by exception. and that they can be adopted.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Just councillors to continue speaking while you're speaking.
Another wording.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Are we going to do this all through the meeting, councillor?
To the chair.
Are we going to do this all through the meeting through the chair? I'm asking a question.
I accept his suggestion, to have a code of.
I understand that, but I'm asking a councillor if a question that's very important, am I allowed to ask a question or do I have to write it
Put your
down?
hands up when you have the question. Okay.
No, I wasn't asking you, I was asking councillor Nosworthy.
So sensitive.
So is that going to happen all through the meeting? That's what I need to know. Can I ask councillor Nosworthy a question?
So, Mr. Mayor, point of order. The councillor is speaking to you in a manner and in a forum that is not the right context.
I know what it's like not to be mayor.
Councillor, I'm
Councillor
currently, another point of order, councillor. The councillor is standing while another councillor has a point of order being discussed with the mayor.
Can everybody sit down, please? Okay, I'm going to carry on the items. Item by exception, in accordance with section 13 of Council's Code of Meeting Practice, items can be dealt with by exception, and they can be adopted as recommended by a single motion. I will go through each agenda item. If councillors could indicate if they wish to vote against the recommendation or speak on any of the matters. Before I begin, are there any councillors who may wish to withdraw their motions? Okay, now we're going to item 10.1, the notice of decision. Out. Okay. 10.2, mobile play van. 10.3, happy to chat benches. Now, 10.4, Mason's Park Wetland Improvement Project.
Out.
10.5, Rangers Operation. 10.6, outdoor dining area.
What happened to 10.5?
10.5, councillor.
10.5 is Rangers Operation and the responsibilities.
You want out, okay? Out.
I just want to know what's happening with it. I wasn't clear.
No.
You want out,
No, I didn't hear the mayor tell us whether we're going to vote on it or not.
Okay. 10.5, so ask them. 10.4, you say out, okay? 10.5, you want out?
Just
Point of
Point
order.
of order.
I don't know.
You're not the chair of the meeting.
I'm sorry.
The chair's sitting
I'm
here.
asking.
He's going through the list. Let him go through the list and do his job. Thank you.
okay, wonderful. Okay, so 10.5,
10.5.
out?
I don't know.
No, okay, thank you. Okay, 10.6, outdoor dining area safety study. Okay, 10.7, beautifying industrial areas in Strathfield local LGA. 10.8, project 1 million,
Please, Mr. Mayor.
out. Okay, 10.9, Oxford Road, time parking. Come on, okay. 10.10, active transport plan review. 10.11, better signage for councils off-street car parks. 10.12, opportunities for community facilities in Homebush TOD precinct.
Out, please.
Council committee menus.
Out.
Minor Works Heritage Grant Program. 10.15, consideration of industrial lands and the impacts on joining residents. 3, poisoning response and signage at 65 Oxford Road.
Out.
10.17, vacant shop fronts.
That should come out as well.
Okay. Okay, LC1, Model Code of Conduct, Concurrent Statistics, 2024 and 25. LC2, Markets in Homebush,
Out.
out. Current status of council resolutions. Tenders advertised and award September and October 2025. Tabling of annual disclosure of pecuniary interests and other matter return. LC 6, 2024 and 25, Eric attestation, this one will be out. LC 7, public exhibition of draft code of meeting practice.
Out.
GMU 1,
Out.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor, sorry, the councillor over there was speaking over another councillor.
one warning.
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor. That point of order was also fictitious in the sense that I have said what I said after the councillor finished speaking. So I'd like the warning taken back, if that's all right. Thank you.
Thank you. I will take it back. CCS1 is investment report. CCS2 draft annual financial statement.
Out.
Okay. CCS3 delivery program 6 months progress report. Statistics on calls, complaints, queries, suggestions received by council service desk. Establishment of a cultural art and performance center in the Strathfield LGA. CCS6 draft report for review and the Powell's Creek corridor plan of management and public hearing for the community land and 20A Parramatta Road. Strathfield Heritage Awards program. PE2 planning proposal to amend Strathfield LEP out. Yeah. PE3 towards a circular economic 2025 waste strategy. Review of the Roads Act 1993. Vehicle movements at the pedestrian access at the crossing in front of Strathfield Plaza.
That's.
You want to be out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Electric vehicle charging stations up to date on consultation.
Out.
Okay, after that is 12.1 is minute for multicultural committee.
Out.
Okay, 12.2 minute local transport forum meeting 21 October 2025. The other minutes is budget review and a financial committee meeting. Minutes for council workshop 14 of October 2025. 12.5 minute council workshop 21 October 2025. EO4 strip of land Parramatta Road Homebush.
Out.
Out, then we are going to have separate section. Councillors, can I have a mover for the motion to accept the listed reports by exception? Councillor Sandy Reddy, move it. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Brady. Now I put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare it carried unanimously. Okay, we have 2 speakers registered today to address the meeting. Speakers are reminded that they have 3 minutes to address the council on their item of interest with the 2 possible with a possible 2-minute extension if approved by the meeting. Speakers are advised that in accordance with the code of meeting practice, they cannot ask questions of councillors or staff. Councillor, through the chair, may ask questions of the speaker as long as it is direct, succinct, and without argument. If 3 minutes is up, bell will be ring. All right. So the first speaker is Ms. Rosanna Marland on behalf of Advocate, the voice of the community. Thank you.
Good evening, Stratfield Mayor and Deputy Mayor, General Manager and members of council. I'd also like to pay my respect to acknowledge the Wangal people on the regional custody of the land. Firstly, I'd like to introduce and appreciate the joining of this meeting this evening to address the interests of our project that we have recently proposed and had the meeting with Paul Reid. Based on the project that I have came up with to look at Stratfield, I studied the ratio, the community, the business and everything. I enter into an interest to provide to our council, if they are very interested, to open the Esplanade Road between the Westpac, Lyons Road and Parnell to be closed and to be built into a village garden for businesses. The idea of this project is to bring together two obligations, helping our community of businesses, diversity with mixed culture, and the community of Stratfield Town Centre to implant these objectives by investing initially and establish Stratfield with entertainment, business, mixed culture markets, and aid for various governments and organisations, medical services, mixed culture education centre, and media involvement, promoting our community centre, bringing tourism and traffic into Stratfield. With the proposal to introduce the garden village and reduce pollution and keeping Stratfield clean environment to better innovation strategy project. By creating a Stratfield to become an exciting and welcoming community experiencing with local and international joint venture with our local council communities. To build community business and local communities, improve our surrounding of the community with business local councils by leading national bodies committed to strengthening our Australian local economics relationships. Supporting Australian organisations seeking access to our small mixed culture market, running a cultural training program for Australian businesses and executives, and leveraging our KBEC extensive of network seniors, executives, industries and government leaders to create a meaningful Australian mixed culture partnership, advocating to policies and advanced trade relations and exchanging business and intelligence on trade, invest and commercial development in our community. The key point here is to outline the importance of this proposal with these concept ideas to accommodate the successful financial proposal for the Town Centre Garden Village by including concept idea and mix of housing, low to high densities, support by commercial, retail, community use, which can attract investment and generate jobs. To ensure our financial viabilities and community benefits to perform a better community for us.
Finished?
Extension?
I nearly just finished one more.
Yeah, I move an extension.
And who is second? Brady. Okay. 2 more minutes.
Sorry. So in this, I asked our community councils to consider my proposal for our community to really bring the point of financial economics, the components of our proposal to look at Stratfield, the future where we hope for our next generation and where we're going from there. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have a second speaker, Mr. Peter Doblitovich.
I won't have such a big idea as a previous speaker. Very good idea. Okay, should I start? Oh, sorry.
You can start.
Council is attempting to heritage list properties. What? You have to say who you are and Oh, where you live. Peter Dobrovich, I live in Abbotsford Road, across the road from the library. The council is attempting to heritage list properties by stealth by labelling non-heritage properties contributory items. This is in relation to the DCP. Looking at Abbotsford Road alone, there are 14 already heritage listed items in the road. There probably should only be 8, but put that aside. The council wants to add 41 items as contributory items, which classification is almost as restrictive as being heritage listed from reading the documentation. I won't discuss the neutral or intrusive classifications that are proposed, except to say that rather than identify a council-owned property as intrusive, the council actually has removed the council-owned property from the heritage conservation area. Issues with the heritage proposal, in no particular order are, like most of my neighbours, I think council expanding heritage restrictions while selectively or randomly enforcing existing heritage laws is ridiculous. I think we should do what we've already got on the books. Adopting language in the proposed DCP other councils use will cause us in Strathfield to have the same problems we have avoided for many years that are generated elsewhere. The current rules allow for sensible heritage conservation area. For example, my wife's property is not a heritage item, it's in a heritage conservation zone. By applying the rules in terms of heritage minor work, she has just completed a small project on the site. We finished this afternoon. I encourage everyone to have a look at it because it actually has added to the amenity of the property by using existing rules. The broader zeitgeist is to have more development to ensure children and grandchildren can afford a home. The current plan has problems. For example, a de facto heritage classification on a property, i.e. a contributory item, located between two intrusive properties is ridiculous for the obvious reasons. And we see that in Abbotsford Road alone. The last issue is that DCP has actually not been properly advertised, so any resultant changes from this process is not going to be valid. The next steps, I think there are two potential next steps. One, abandon the changes to the new DCP and just enforce the current rules consistently, or alternatively, remove the contributory classification.
Do you need more time?
Only about 30 seconds.
Past 2 minutes.
Okay, I move it. Second by
Thank you very much.
Lee.
The alternative is to remove the contributory classification from all the properties, as this is too similar to heritage classification, and leave the classifications only as heritage, neutral or intrusive. Lastly, and this relates to another item on the agenda, lastly, while appreciating the idea the council might help defray the cost of being in a heritage conservation area by grants, at best, I think it'll be a relatively trivial amount, and it would be very expensive to be fairly distributed across all the areas. However, the council could, by enforcing the existing rules and taking on projects no resident can do themselves, such as burying the overhead wires or coordinating the burying of overhead wires in Abbotsford Road, would significantly enhance that area, because what you would do is have a canopy of trees across the road rather than the butchered avenue of trees we currently see. And that is in the power of the council. I think that would be a worthwhile project. Not as worthwhile as my friend here's project. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now we are going to deal with all our councillors' motion first. For the 10.1, notice of decision with priority or prioritization of the local roads works was moved by Councillor Matthew Luri, North and Kevin Preston. Can I have the okay, Councillor Councillor Pensapini and Matthew Wilmore is the seconder. Councillors, would you like to speak for the motion?
Not allowed.
Okay, councillors,
Can we speak on the motion? You can speak on a rescission motion.
order. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak for the, anyone want to speak against the motion?
Yes, I would like to speak about the motion. As I said in the last meeting, when this motion came forward, is that the council has a distinct area of what they're going to do and when they're going to do it. And I think to take the council out of that progress of the streets that need doing and the streets that don't need doing is not the way to go. I think we have to take advice from our experts on what streets need to be done first and what streets need to be done second. To try and change that is actually saying that we don't trust our experts. And again, Lib's looking after Liberal areas. I mean, I have to take that 9 from Councillor Blackmore, but that's exactly what we're doing.
Councillor Barty?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm going
For the
to
motion.
speak against this motion very naturally as the original mover and author of the motion that's now being, councillors are seeking to overturn. As per what Councillor, through you, Mr. Mayor, as per what Councillor Pensabene has said, I reject the two ideas that she's just mentioned. The first, that it's some sort of liberal, helping Liberal sort of policy, and second, that we ought to listen to the experts on sort of all matters. Dealing with the points in order, those 2 points, I can't help but laugh at the hypocrisy, Mr. Mayor. First, in relation to focusing on our own voters and that sort of line that was thrown around last time and tonight, those Labor signatories to this motion have a laughable record on that sort of matter. Whilst most councillors here have a record of noms that impact a wide variety of populations across our municipality, it's specifically Councillor Nosworthy, one of the Labor councillors, who has a disproportionate record of policy ideas aimed at supporting areas where his own party has historically performed better. One must only look at the minutes of previous council meetings to see that, particularly in Homebush West. So there's clearly a particular interest taken by some of the councillors in this place in areas where they perform better electorally. Some do that, some others don't, and the evidence is in the minutes, Mr. Mayor, but this is another case of the pot calling the kettle black. In relation to the need to listen to the experts, Mr. Mayor, I feel rather let down by Councillor Blackmore in particular. Usually our community advocate over here has, on this occasion, for some reason, succumbed to the technocrats. How can this be? Councillor Blackmore's always fighting the experts. But other than the aforementioned, other than sort of an attempt at keeping his Labor friends as short up votes for the next mayoral election, I'm not certain of where this comes from. After all, Councillor Blackmore is usually, as I said, an advocate for the rejecting of advice on official council, advice of council officials, sorry. But in conclusion, I want to clarify just a few matters. The reason I moved this notice of motion at the last council meeting was in reaction to significant correspondence from street meetings, general community engagement that led to many discussions on the quality of some of our local roads. And whilst many of these are already appropriately placed on the work schedule, all the motion sought to do was to intervene and ensure that some of those more spoken about roads were higher up on that list of works and were given greater priority. It is our duty as councillors to actually listen to residents and listen to the official advice as well, and then to make decisions balancing community interests against any advice. Experts need to be on tap, but not on top. From the rhetoric of those signatories, it seems they believe in the inverse, as Councillor Pensabene just admitted. In other words, screw local interests and let the bureaucrats run the show. Well, you're entitled to your view, Councillor, but mine is that the interests of residents come first, and advocating for their interests is actually what we are elected to do. And I also want to dispel some of the myths that have been put forward. Firstly, the intention of this motion is not to increase any budget anywhere or change the plan at all. It's to continue with the same plan, but to prioritise some of those that were further down the list that are spoken about more regularly. Instead, or as I said, the intention of the motion is purely to rearrange the list of work projects so that some roads about which residents have shown interest are prioritised due to their decaying state. I'll finish there. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone want to speak for the motion?
Yes, I would like to speak for the motion. Much of my advocacy for Homebush West comes from the Homebush West Facebook group, which I believe almost all of us are members. On that group, many times Hampstead Road's been complained about, and yet it hasn't rated on your initial motion, so you're clearly not listening to those constituents. I did ask for you to share the information that you collect at street meets, but you refused, so I have no awareness of complaints from Barker Road or Wallace Avenue, so unfortunately, I just have to take your word for it. You're welcome to share those street meet topics, but so far, no such luck.
Okay, anyone want to speak against them?
Not against, not for, just question.
Question, yeah, okay.
Question, can I have question?
Okay.
Through the mayor, I have a question to the general manager. Yeah, when you have the schedule, work repairing schedule, in what condition, on what condition do you make schedule? Which one's more priority, or the others? And if we have, because one day I have a motion for Barker Road. I found Barker Road so many damages. I found it. Last year I make motions to repair the Barker Road. There's a very our symbol of as Strasbourg Council is Australian Catholic University there. So many traffic go and come. I found it. So last session when we last meeting, I have for the prioritization, I raised my hand for four. Now they are against decision. I want to find out if we have prioritized in this road, do we have any negative effect on our schedule or our budget and anything in our council? Can you repeat, please?
Refer to the director to answer.
Oh, yes.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. When we are setting the roads renewal priorities, we look at the condition rating of the roads. So we rate roads from condition 1, which is excellent, brand new, through to 5, which is basically failing. And typically when we are renewing roads, we're renewing them when they're at a condition 4. And so that's how we prioritise which roads get renewed in any program of work.
My question was whether we have prioritized this road. When we have prioritized this road, do we have any negative effect on our schedule or budget? So many things, yeah. We can answer that.
So,
she didn't answer that one. Okay.
So, through you, Mr. Mayor, naturally, when you look at, say, Barker Road, for example, it's quite a long road, and there's quite a bit of work that would need to be done, and that would be quite an expensive project to do that in its entirety. What the officers will need to look at and what they'll present to council if this were to come back to council is the roads that won't be done, because there will be we won't be able to do the original program that we were planning to do. There will have to be roads that will be done later if we were to bring these projects ahead of schedule. Does that answer the question?
I have a question, sorry.
Yeah.
So if you were to go with the Barker Road first, and you'd have to put roads that are really in need
Through the chair.
through
General Manager.
Chair to the General Manager. If this motion gets ahead, sorry, I'm taking on a picnic.
Take time, no problem.
If this motion was to go ahead, that means that other roads that are in greater need will have to go down the list rather than starting with Barker Road. So if we started with Barker Road, other projects would have to go down the list.
Through the Mayor, yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
I have a question through the Mayor to the General Manager. Just in this financial year and in the budget that we currently have, what are the changes that have occurred to the roads budget, and have we, in a sense, excelled beyond where we expected to be because of an increase in the budget?
So, through you, Mr. Mayor, so the roads budget for last financial year was set at around $3 million and it was reduced by $400,000. However, when we now look at the current year program, we've allocated $4.5 million to road renewal.
Just to clarify that point through the Mayor, so in other words, there's been an increase in the amounts we expected to spend until this point.
Yes, we're spending more on road renewal than what we had originally planned.
Councillor
Thank you. After everyone's had 3 turns.
No, I didn't know I had a question.
Sorry. Look, I just want to withdraw the statement I made about saying that Councillor Bellardi is prioritising Liberal areas. After his resignation of Mayor, there is no Liberal areas, there's no Liberal in power in any form of government in this local area.
Councillor Kim.
Through the chair, can I ask all the councillors, do we have to talk and discuss all the matters by politically or just for the community, the benefit of community? We have to think about, not, you always say the Liberal Party area and every Labour Party area. I really doesn't like that kind of word because we are all councillors representing our community. Why do we always divide it like Labour and Liberal and we think about Liberal area? I don't never think Liberal area and Labour area. I never thought about it. Do we have to discuss in this way all the time?
Point of order, Mr. Mayor, against Councillor Blackmore for disorderly conduct. Thank you.
Okay. I think Councillor King is right. You know, we come here for the best interest of the communities. You know, not the political.
It's a good point of order. I think you just need to deal with my point of order first, Mr. Mayor.
What's your point of order?
JP, what's your point of order?
Just my point of order, Mr. Mayor, just to repeat myself, apologies, was a point of order against Councillor Blackmore for disorderly conduct in this meeting.
Mr. Mayor, I'll withdraw the statement.
Thank you. All right. I now put the motion to the vote.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, we were asked the question. Am I able to respond to it?
No, don't respond.
Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Sabini, Councillor Northworthy, and Councillor Belmont. All those against, Councillor Bellardi, Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Benjamin Chai. I declare the motion lost. What? Okay, now we go to 10.2. Councillors, can I have, Councillor Northworthy, can I have your, are you going to move for this motion?
I am, yes.
Okay. Can I have a seconder for that? Councillor Pensabini? And councillors, would you like to speak for the motion?
Yeah, something I came across. I think they had their 6th anniversary over in Burwood. It just seems like a great community program they run that basically takes a van full of toys to a park, invites families pay with the toys, they put the toys back in the van, and then it goes to another park the next day. Obviously, isolation is a bit of an ongoing problem in the social media age, so just trying to bring people together from diverse backgrounds that live nearby, make use of the local parks. Thought it was a great idea, thought something that maybe Strathfield could collaborate with Burwood on for social benefit, for social mixing.
Okay. Yep.
I'd like to.
Are you going to speak for the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd like to congratulate Councillor Nosworthy on his motion. children are they're strange creatures. They love new items to play with. If you had a van that went around and the children could play with new items, it's always a lot easier for the parents. In this time of really economic stress on parents, it's really good to be able to go to maybe a community event like this and have either communication with other people and your children playing with different things and meeting different people.
Thank you. Anyone want to speak against the motion?
Not against.
You-
Question.
Only two. A question is okay, yeah?
Question? Question?
Yeah.
Through chair, I'd like to ask Lori. This sounds very good family program. But to implement this program, I have some questions. Because I checked, because you said it both council, I checked it both council. They do every week Thursday in both parts. But in our community, our council, if we have to do, I have a question about this play ban is, who provide this play ban? Through the mayor to general manager. If we implement this one, the mobile play ban is we have to buy or we have to borrow, or how do you do? And also to how often we use this ban, and which park we want this ban, I want to know.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, they're all very good questions, and we would have to look into it for you to come back to you, because we haven't looked at the program before.
Oh, then I cannot decide.
All right, councillors.
Just a moment. Then through chair, because I asked Rory, when you
Nosworthy.
here Nosworthy. When you have submitted this motion, you must have some concrete, precise idea how you're gonna do, how you make money for this one, and which van company he doesn't know. So you may have some idea.
Thank you, Councillor Kim. Similar to the General Manager, I can't answer all those questions. I would imagine it occurs...
Through the chair.
Sorry?
When you talk to the councillor King, you go through the chair.
Chair, Councillor Kim. I would imagine probably Strathfield Park due to its popularity. I'd imagine on Friday because the Burwood Council van doesn't have a booked Friday spot. But I might perhaps suggest an amendment to receive a report from Council, obviously before we commence that approach.
Point of order, just the amendment should be defined, councillor.
It's up there.
Amendment?
Okay. So, February, council. Okay. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to support the amended version of this motion, which seeks a report. I think if there's already a vehicle owned, or if, for example, the report shows that the vehicle's owned by Burwood and there's some sort of sharing arrangement, whatever the report says, we can sort of analyse at that time. But in theory, it sounds like a good plan if we go with the amended version of this. So I will support the amended version of this motion.
Second.
Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
Amendment.
Very good. Okay, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay, 10.3, happy to check bench. Sorry, are you going to move the motion?
I'll second.
Sorry, Councillor Worthy. And who is going, can I have a seconder?
I'm the second.
Councillor Pensapini? Okay. Councillor Northworthy, are you going to speak for the motion?
I am, thank you, Mr. Mayor. On a similar theme of kind of social interaction, I think, as it says, or it doesn't say, it is a program kind of created in the UK, spread across a whole lot of councils, and similar but maybe different age group, social mixing, kind of produce social isolation. I'm happy to amend this as well, similarly to 10.2, to call for a report into the installation. I assume it's relatively straightforward, but I might be wrong, so I will requested report. The council install sign, yeah.
Thank you. Does anyone want to speak for the motion? Or you just question? Question, okay, Councillor Kim.
Through Mayor Chair, I have a question to Councillor Noseworthy. This also sounds very nice and very happy benches. But I have one concern, several concerns when I read this one, because this modern society a bit of dangerous. When I went to Strasbourg Square, many people come to me, can you introduce Korean lady to me? Something like that. When we have happy benches there are so many nice people to make friend, interact, and new friend. But there are also some bad people try to contact, and they want to be dangerous. Dangerous men or women. So many people are there in this. Because in Korea also, people are kidnapping. They make chatting nicely, happily, and take them and kidnapping. So many dangerous things. Do you have any idea to prevent any dangerous
Point of order,
things?
Mr. Mayor. Sorry, there's use of a phone by one of the councillors, which is strictly against the rule.
Just a point of order in response to the point of order, if I'm allowed, Mr. Mayor, if I need to deal with it.
You didn't answer my question.
I think both of you sit down, okay?
Just a point of order before your ruling, Mr. Mayor. The use of a mobile phone discreetly is allowed during the meeting, and that's available at Code of Meeting Practice, Clause 3.7. Thank you.
Councillor Noteworthy, mobile phone is allowed to use, to check some data, making phones or recording.
My understanding of what you read out at the start is all use of phones will result in removal from the meeting.
No.
But I believe that's in the script that you read at the start, so maybe we need to update that.
Thank you.
What was the question?
Repeat? You repeat?
Okay, now, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
No, we have to answer. We have to hear from him. We have to hear from him. Yeah.
Point of order, Councillor. Point of order, Councillor Chai.
Please.
Point of order, Councillor Chai. Councillor Kim is talking too much. She's trying to overtake the meeting.
No, I have a question always.
No, but
Do I have
chair.
Just a moment.
Okay. All the councillors, please sit down. Okay, put your hands when you want to speak.
You cannot say like that. I have
Okay, Councillor King, I give you one of the warning. Okay, when you want to say something, put the hands up. Okay.
Yeah, I did already.
Okay, thank you. All right, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in. Okay. All right. I was suggested that we need another councillors to speak against the motion.
Yes, here we go.
Thank you. Councillor Belmont.
Look, I'm on the same page as Esther, obviously.
Point of order.
Sorry, Councillor Kim. Thank you, Mr. Former Mayor. And, yeah, on the same page as Councillor Kim, in that I do believe, like, it is a nice gesture and good thing that you're trying to do. I don't necessarily want to follow the UK with anything, but to be honest, but I do think there's the opportunity for, we do teach children stranger danger, and I do think there's potential for predators or someone like that to just potentially take advantage of it, and I don't want to be responsible as a council to do that. It is a nice gesture though, but I get what you're trying to achieve.
Councillor Billy, what you are going to speak for? For, okay.
Isn't it sad that in 2025 that we can't have a happy chair to sit on and to speak to other people and to actually have conversation? Isn't that sad? Stranger danger is a problem, but the problem is 90% of the abuse of children is from people that they know, it's not from strangers. So it's really sad that we can't promote conversation, friendship and loyalty to people in our community by having a chair to sit on. Thank you.
Against? Okay, Councillor Reddy.
Okay. It's a good idea. My kids go to school. Their school have a buddy bench. But when you're placing these benches under no supervision in a park, if I'm feeling really lonely or vulnerable, I'm sitting for something else and I get approached. I agree with Councillor Kim. And culturally also, people might be picked on. And we are thinking only one side of it. But tell you, people when they're sad, when they want to be left alone, they don't want to come and sit on the bench. They can go and talk anywhere to anybody. I wouldn't be supporting it because I don't think it's really contributory to our community.
You speak already, right?
Yeah. I want to correct my word. Give me the chance.
Councillor King.
That's what I mean.
Through the chair, to Councillor Pensabin and you too, the Deputy Mayor,
Ready?
I didn't mean the child and kids. I mentioned adult. I was worried about adult. Even adult can be kidnapped. When you kidnap, it's not child. I'm not teaching you. I'm just talking about really what I worried. It happens in our country. That is why I'm just
In Australia.
talk about it. Australia and Korea too. Okay. Thank you.
It is raising security issues, and now if I put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Pensabini and Councillor Rory. Not worthy.
Councillor Nosworthy.
I did already.
Councillor Nosworthy.
I think he was pointing to the fact that you called me Councillor Rory, not Councillor Nosworthy.
I'd say Councillor Rory Northworthy.
Fair enough. Thank you. My middle name's Andrew.
All right, all those against? Councillor Bradmore, Councillor Brady, Councillor King, and Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. I declare the motion lost. Okay, now we go to 10.4, Mason Park Wetland Improvement Project. Councillor Kim, are you going to move the motion? Can I have seconder, Councillor Brady? Councillor King, are you going to speak for the motion?
Yes. I move motion because the Mason Park wetland is one of our community's most important environmental assets. It supports biodiversity, provides habitat for native birds and aquatic life. However, it has been observed that the wetland has significantly dried out and area shows signs of ecological decline. This is concerning for local residents, environmental groups, and for us as a council committee to substantiality. I attached all these photos I have taken. You see how much dried land we have in wetland? See the photos, everybody? So that's why I move this motion.
Thank you. Are you going to speak for the motion?
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, question.
I just have a question through to the General Manager. I'm under the impression that the wants of those ecologically invested in the Mason Park wetlands is actually for the wetland to contract in terms of water going in and out very regularly. And I believe there is a period in the year in which it is meant to be somewhat dry. But can we have a clarification if we are out of line with the ecological interests of the Mason Park wetlands, Friends of Mason Park Wetlands? Because I believe they speak to this at some depth, but I don't know if because of recent weather events, it's gone beyond their wants.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that's a really good question, and that's something I'd have to take on notice and come back to you at the next meeting. I do believe that there is the environmental flow of the water coming in and out, and that's the purpose of tidal gates as well, is to manage that, and there is quite a science involved in terms of getting that right. So the grant that we have received, I think it's a $1.8 million grant, it will allow us to install that tidal gate and also undertake some of these works that are required to get the right flow of the water going in and out to allow the wetlands to perform as best as possible.
Raymond?
Look, I will be supporting this. I would probably remind Councillor Kim that she does live very close to Mason Park and seems to regularly put up motions about things very close to her house.
The point of order, Mr. Mayor, there's a potential, or one might infer from what's been stated in Councillor Blackmore's statement there, that there's a potential breach of the Code of Meeting Practice or Code of Conduct. I just think Councillor Blackmore should retract that statement.
I'll retract the statement. I'll leave the declarations of pecuniary interest up to the councillors to decide. Yeah, look, I obviously thank Councillor Kim for putting this motion up. As a teenager on weekends, first introduced through school, I planted a lot of the plants and trees in this wetlands and spent nearly every weekend down there when it was like a barren wasteland and dump. So it is important that we do commit to these areas. Yeah, I would actually like to thank Councillor Kim for putting this motion up. Thank you.
Anyone want to speak against the motion? No? If not, I will now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Very good. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay, 10.8 is project 1 million, was moved by Matthew Bremmo, Councillor.
Moved by Councillor Ballardi.
And also the Councillor Ballardi. So who is going to move the motion?
Do you want to speak, Councillor? I'm happy for you to
Councillor Ballardi, are you going to second it?
Ballardi seconded it, he's moved it.
Oh, okay.
Just a clarification, Mr. Mayor, if possible, when a item is co-sponsored, is a mover and seconder required? Well, in that case, I move the motion.
All right, thank you.
I'll second the motion, thank you.
You second, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Did you want to speak? I'm happy for you to speak.
So are you going to move to speak first for the motion?
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor. We have some councillors speaking while you, I think they both deserve a warning. You over them.
Okay, Councillor.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Bloody was one of the people speaking over the various conversations.
Okay, another order. Okay, now, Councillor.
You should have a warning.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Okay.
she's the mover. I want her to speak, waiting to speak.
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor. We have some disorderly conduct being contributed to this meeting by both councillors. I think
You want us to
they
go?
deserve another warning. We're just after an orderly meeting tonight, so if councillors keep bickering, we can't have that.
Oh.
Thank you.
Councillor, I'm happy for Councillor Ballardi to speak on the...
Okay, thank you. Ballardi, you got a point of order as well. Thank you. And Councillor Bremmo is... Okay. Now, everybody, whatever you're the speaker, you got to put your hands before you speak. Okay. Now, Councillor Bremmo is going to represent, Councillor Ballardi to speak for this motion.
Sure, I'm happy to speak.
Bremmo.
Oh, no, sorry, I stated that it was co-moved by Councillor Ballardi, and I'm happy if he would like to speak on the matter.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor, and through the chair to Councillor Blackmore for proposing this motion. When he informed me of the motion, I was eager to co-sponsor it for a number of reasons. I know Councillor Blackmore is a sort of cut and burn sort of councillor and wants to see, you know, things torn apart very regularly in this organisation, and there's some sentiment there with which I agree.
Focus on your point, please.
Thank you very much, Mr Mayor. Apologies, Mr Mayor, I should say. Before I begin, I just want to be clear that this motion isn't about distrust or suspicion or criticism of staff in this organisation. Far from it. I have the utmost respect for the professionalism of our organisation's staff and the way that they manage public money the majority of the time. I co-sponsored this motion out of respect for our residents and the value of their hard-earned rates that they pay into this organisation. Whilst we can squabble from time to time in this chamber about one-off expenses or line item variations, it's structural and service reform that truly provides dignity to the budget. The purpose of this motion is to invite a deeper look in this organisation, not to question commitment, but to strengthen accountability, particularly by those elected to this chamber. Council's budget has been well managed in recent years. The changes we've made this year have actually left residents better off than they otherwise would have been, whilst Council itself remains in a strong and stable position, the same position it otherwise would have been in. In other words, we've been mostly immune from internal budgetary activism. That's a good thing. It means that the fundamentals are sound. But good governance demands that we keep reviewing what we're doing. This so-called Project 1 Million, as titled by Councillor Blackmore, is of course a little bit hyperbolic in what it seeks to achieve, but it does send the right message to the community and in the organisation. It tells the community that we are serious about finding savings where they exist. And if they don't exist, controversially, that's fine too, Councillor, Mr Mayor. I have full confidence that if there are savings, they will be found, and if not, we'll respect that as an organisation. Importantly, this motion also gives our directors a more active role in that process. It empowers them to identify areas of potential efficiency, just as they do in private sector management reviews, and join us on this ongoing journey toward better accountability and transparency. I commend all those who work under the CFO for the work they do in the budget each and every month. Ultimately, this isn't about cuts, it's about care. It's about ensuring that every dollar entrusted to us is treated with the same prudence that our residents would show with their own household budgets. I commend this motion to Council and thank Councillor Blackmore for his activism.
Thank you. Does anyone want to speak against it?
I'd just like to propose an amendment. So if we could copy the dot point 2 under, and remove staff, the word staff, and input the word councillors.
Would you want to speak?
Just amendment, Mr.
Amendment, okay.
Mr. Mayor, as the mover of the motion, I'll reject the suggestion, but what I'll do instead is add to it, rather than fully reject, by saying councillors and staff.
Any other?
I accept the amendment.
Does anyone else wish to speak for? Are you going to speak for or against?
I made an amendment, was that?
Amendment.
Am I to amend and then speak, or is that? No. No.
All right. If no one speaks, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Very good. I declare the motion carried unanimously.
We'll leave. We have a conflict of interest.
But he doesn't risk it.
Councillor Bellardi doesn't have a conflict.
You leave too? No. You leave? No.
Oh, they have to.
Mr. Mayor, just a point of order on myself, if you will. It is totally incidental that I actually do have a conflict. I did mention before it was pecuniary and non-significant. The same relationship exists with other councillors, so as to keep things homogenous, if you will, I'll join them because we have those. In fact, I probably have a closer relationship than with the person in question than those two have left the room. So out of respect for their decision, I'll join them in leaving the room. But I do apologise for not getting that correct earlier.
That's your choice, right?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. All right, 10.9, Oxford Road, time parking.
I do, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Councillor Reddy, you move the motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can second it. Councillor, anyone would like to speak for the motion? Or is this question?
You go first. Let me just check the question.
Councillor Reddy?
Just a small amendment, if I'm, through the chair to the general manager, if I didn't understand, is it 24/7, 4 hours? Or can we make an amendment of 9 to 5? Am I allowed?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, can I just clarify the question? Do you mean 24/7 for councillors or?
In general, for public and
So,
it's a 4 hours park, 4P.
I might defer that one to Cathy to answer.
Through the mayor, I believe, Councillor Reddy, you're asking, would the four-hour parking restrictions be 24/7 or would be just restricted to the daytime? It would be common to have it just restricted to the daytime.
Through Mayor and your general manager, I have a alternative idea. Because this road, many commuters, I was commuter too when I was young, when I worked city, for the commuters, but because of residential, the Oxford Street is very important for our resident here. So this one, not 7 for 24 hours, I want to make it work days, Monday to Friday, timed, weekend, free offset parking. This is better. Even commuters, anybody who can, parking. Timed parking, do you really want everyone? Yeah, I want to make it, because of commuters, they have inconvenience. So, timed from Monday to Friday. And the time is same as 9 to 5. That's my alteration.
Councillor Reddy, do you accept her
Yeah.
amendment?
Can we see the amendment? 9 to 5. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let Rory speak.
Yeah, Councillor
Mr. Mayor.
Reddy, not Reddy?
I have a question through the chair. In the rationale, it explains that obviously it's used by commuters because it's less than a kilometre from the station. Bit of a difficult question. Are all of the streets less than a kilometre already 4P parking? Probably through the chair to the director. Difficult question, apologies.
General Manager?
Through the chair, I would have to take that on notice, I don't.
Sorry.
Can I have a bit of amendment for this one? For there's a words, the exception of the council staff. Exception, can I delete the council staff? Just keep the local residents? Yeah. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay.
Yeah, good.
Thank you. Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. The Councillor Northworthy, Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. I declare the motion carried unanimously.
something controversial.
Many of them. Am I allowed to tell you? No. Am I allowed to tell you? Yeah. It says on the board, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's already 8.
Okay, now we are going to 10.12. Opportunities for community felicity, Holmes Todd Precinct. I think this motion was raised by Councillor Baladi. Are you going to move for this motion? Okay, can I have seconder? Councillor Reddy? And are you going to speak for this motion?
I will, and I'll make an amendment, Mr. Mayor. In the title of it, it does refer to the Todd, which was not quite my intention, and it's actually something with which I sort of have a potential conflict, and I don't want it to necessarily be limited to the Todd. So I'd like to amend it so as not to have a conflict, but I'll ask the question through the chair to the general manager if that's appropriate, if I can amend it so it doesn't exclude me, so I can speak to the matter.
Sorry, I have to repeat that on this.
Can we amend?
I'll repeat for the sake of the director through the chair and the general manager. The initial wording didn't include reference to the transport-oriented development precinct, the TOD. Through the staff, I was given some advice on changing the wording, but that alteration, which I'm happy to remove and go somewhat back to the original version, I think causes a conflict that's just come to mind. And so I'd like to sort of shape things to avoid the conflict. It's just a somewhat semantic matter. If I can ask that question.
That's a very interesting question. I think if it doesn't change the substantive nature of the motion itself, but clarifies it, then you'll be able to do that.
Yeah. Thank you. If I can speak to the motion, Mr. Mayor. So the amendment I'll make is to, rather than refer to the Homebush Todd precinct, instead change that to high density zones within the Strathfield municipality. And for that to repeat itself if there is mention of the Todd, because this isn't really a Todd-focused policy in any way, but it is to do with something or spaces that exist in high density.
You finished speaking?
No, just waiting for the amendment to be made. And if the seconder is happy with it, I'm...
Check with the governance?
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm happy if the seconder is okay. I'll speak to it. Look, this motion is about making sure that as Strathfield grows into a high density living zone, the heart of the community grows with it. Strathfield is transforming before our eyes. We have new housing, new transport links, new investment, and if we don't plan ahead, we risk missing the opportunity to shape Strathfield in a way that truly serves the people who live here. I'm calling for council to look proactively across Strathfield for potential sites for community facilities, places that could one day support arts, culture, education, or local gatherings. We shouldn't be leaving this to chance or waiting for developers to tell us what's possible. We should be identifying opportunities early so we can integrate them into our long-term planning. And without naming any particular property or asset, I think it's fair to say there are some buildings in our municipality that once played a very important role in the cultural life of our area, for example in Homebush, but today are sadly underused or in decline. And it's these sorts of opportunities that council should be investigating, particularly if we suspect that current owners are just hoping that those sorts of assets fall down so that development can occur. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Does anyone want to speak against the motion? If not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you, councillors. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Now we go into 10.13, right? Council committee.
12?
12, we just finished 12.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
13.
We're going to 13 now. Councillor Jumbo Baladi, are you going to move the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Councillor Reddy.
Councillor Barty, are you going to speak for your motion?
I will, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, this one's quite straightforward. The council chamber where we find ourselves tonight is our formal meeting space for the function it's being used for in this moment. It's where we make big decisions in front of our community. It's where those decisions have been made for a generation, for many generations. It's currently used for some committee meetings too. And as we move to more committee meetings because of reforms by the state government, I believe that it sort of blurs the importance and sanctity of this space. Just point of order, Mr. Mayor, we've got councillors speaking while I'm trying.
Wasn't speaking.
Yeah. Noise was coming out of a councillor's mouth over there, Mr. Mayor.
You need to deal with the point of order.
Point of order, okay.
Thank you. I'm suggesting that our committee meetings meet elsewhere, like in the Homebush meeting room or another appropriate space such as the Ironbark room at the library. These are more or less adequate for the sort of activities we do in committee meetings, so that these chambers are reserved for full council meetings only.
Thank you, Councillor Barty.
I have a question.
Those. Okay, Councillor King.
Through the chair, I'd like to ask you, the general manager. I found when I become a councillor, we have many, during 1 year, we have many workshops. And I found our workshops or our information day, several means used. And I recently found it every time when we have budget committee, something, use this chambers room. Is there any reason? I want to find out any reason. You have it?
Thank you, Councillor King. Can I ask General Manager to explain that?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So the reason why this room is used for the budget committee was in anticipation for the reforms that have come through as part of the code of meeting practice. This room is actually the only room that is equipped with the audio-visual cameras, sound, and allows us the ability to broadcast the meetings online, and it also provides the space for the public to attend. The other rooms aren't readily equipped with that equipment.
Thank you. Councillor, got one question already. Okay, can I have anyone want to speak against the motion?
Yeah, I think considering the future changes, obviously we are going to have to use this room, so it seems ill-advised to perhaps move to support this motion. I also think it's a community asset. It belongs to the community, and members of the community, should be able to access this if they're on a committee, and I think that's part of the privilege of being on a committee and interacting with councillors and council.
Councillor, I think the original motion from the Barty doesn't mean every meeting will be in the council's chamber. They can be in the Homebush room as well, meeting room as well. Okay, not everything upstairs. Councillor Barty?
Just through you, Mr. Mayor, well, just to speak to the motion again, Mr. Mayor, I guess.
Are you allowed to speak to the motion again?
Is there a point of order?
Yeah, point of order. I'm not sure he can speak to the motion twice.
Can you check with the governors? Can they?
We can reply.
Through you, sir. Yes, as the move with the motion, he gets a right to reply.
Thank you. He just speak. Oh, okay. Okay.
So,
all right.
you need to make sure there's no more.
Councillor Kim, what you going to speak, or you another question? No, you want to be the last one.
Mr. Mayor, just point of order. There hasn't been a second speaker in favour, and so I'm eligible to speak again, and I'm eligible for a right of reply, just to clarify that point. And I was speaking when a point of order was made, so I'd like to resume my speaking if possible.
All right, I accept your...
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. As I was just going to identify in speaking for this motion, we are investing significant funds into the rejuvenation of this facility, this building, to make it a more community engaging facility with community rooms, more civic space as well. Without putting it in the motion, I do think it would be appropriate that when those works are being done, which are costing in the hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million, there is the thought behind integrating the systems that we will need into a room in this building when it is upgraded as is planned. I think the use of this room, as I said, is to be kept sacred for these sorts of meetings. I mean, we have a great history of this room being used for council meetings, and why muddy the waters and start using we've got some beautiful faces on the wall here, Mr. Mayor, behind me. You see, Mr. Mayor, that I think in respect to the history of this place, we need to make sure that we keep this place sacred. And so I think by moving committee meetings elsewhere, particularly as the state government's reforms come in, adequate funding can be provided to ensure the upgrade of some room in this place or another is there for committees to be held. We could call it the committee room. We could call it, name it after a former mayor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. King, are you going to speak against or for the motion?
I want to clarify.
Clarify.
Through the mayor chair, the general manager, you told me about when we use a workshop, we have only workshop for budgeting, we use this room. So our workshop for budgeting or finance, I found it, that is only used this room, and you said because this is CCTV and all the audio visual system here. Is that, you understand what I asked about? Our council meeting are held in chambers. Also, our workshop, I found it, our workshop for finance review and all regarding finance things are held in this room. Then you answered because we asked why do you use this room, you said because all the audiovisual system. Do you need anything to keep every record of our workshop or finance?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the reason why I referenced the Budget and Finance Committee is because it's the only committee that we have that operates in that current form. So it's a committee. It's not held here because it's a budget and it's not a workshop. So it's actually a committee of council. So if there were other committees of council that were established in the same form as the Budget and Finance Committee, so say for example there was a planning committee, the current recommendation in the absence of this notice of motion would be to hold it in this room. So it's not held here because it's the Budget and Finance Committee. The Budget and Finance Committee operates under the same rules as the Code of Meeting Practice, and that's why it's been held in this room.
You happy with that? Okay, thank you. What reason you want to speak?
For the motion.
For the motion, okay.
Through the chair, to the general manager, can we develop, we do have Teams meetings in the other rooms. I get joined in many other rooms. Is it possible to move the budget committee to other places? Just a possibility or not?
So through you, Mr. Mayor, so as I mentioned before, with the new reforms that are coming in as part of the new model Code of Meeting Practice, if we have any committee meetings, they need to be live streamed to the public, and we also need to make the meeting space available for the public to attend. So it's not just about having the Teams meeting functionality available, it's actually also about having the ability to webcast the meeting live. To Councillor Bellardi's point, that's certainly something that could be accommodated in the future in those meeting rooms, but it's not currently available in those rooms.
We'll develop more. Speak at once.
Are you going to speak for?
He's good.
I'll speak for Mr. Mayor, but I'll also make an amendment.
You speak already, right? Can you? I'll put you in the last to conclude. Have not ready to speak first.
Just a question, do we know a rough estimate of how much it would cost to install the live stream equipment in other meeting rooms? A question through the chair to the general manager or?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I honestly couldn't give you an accurate figure on that, but you're probably looking at somewhere around 50,000 per room.
Okay, now
Have a right of reply to finish, Mr. Mayor, or are we going to continue?
you're have the conclusion speaking.
Thank you. Just to comment on some of the discussion that's been had, the first thing I'd like to do, well, actually, I'll comment first. The nature of the Homebush room, for example, is that it's larger than the room in which we currently find ourselves, Mr. Mayor. So discussion about space for the public, I don't think really qualifies. I mean, we're in a smaller room now than what is being suggested. The second thing is that Teams meetings can be live streamed, or Zoom meetings can be live streamed. So we already have capacity to do what is required of us. Whether it's to the expectations of the state legislation or the proposed reforms, I'm not sure, but there is there is accommodation available at the moment. I'm happy to suggest an amendment so that it is provided in a report rather than an immediate cessation, if the seconder is happy with that.
That sounds better. All right, if no other debate, I now put this motion to...
Just quickly, just to clarify the...
Order, you got to put hand up first before you stand up. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, just relating to the amendment, I just wanted to clarify before it was voted on that it's a future council meeting in the first quarter of 2026.
Lovely, thank you. All right, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Bardi, Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, Councillor Bramall, and Councillor Chai. I declare the motion carried. Against Councillor Northworthy and Councillor Pensabini. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Okay, now we got to 1014, minor work heritage grants program. This one was raised by Councillor Bardi.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Bardi is going to move it. Are you going to speak first?
I will, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, this motion is about finding a practical way to support residents who live in our heritage conservation areas. We know that preserving local character isn't just about big heritage restorations. It's also about the small everyday works that keep streets looking cared for and cohesive, which is very important in our heritage conservation areas. Earlier this year, Council decided not to move ahead with the large-scale heritage grants program, which I understand, and I was against it in its form as was initially suggested. It was ambitious and came with significant administrative load, but I believe, and I've worked with Councillor Blackmore, who was the initial proposer of that motion, to work on something that is in the middle ground of what had been suggested, which is a new model focused on just the HCAs and minor works. Things like repainting, repairing fences, restoration of verandas, or maintaining traditional facades. All the kinds of projects that residents already do at their own cost. By offering modest financial support to owners of contributory or even neutral properties in the HCAs, Council can encourage maintenance that benefits the whole street and it helps preserve the look and feel of our neighbourhoods without the overheads of a large, complex funding scheme. So this is a smaller model of what Councillor Blackmore had initially proposed, and we hope that it still achieves a similar outcome, which is keeping those HCAs healthily heritage conservation areas. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Does anyone want to speak against the motion?
Yes, please.
Councillor Northworthy.
I do worry simply about the admin load. I believe later we're voting on a Heritage Awards program, and this is a Heritage Grant program, so in my mind they're working to the same goal, so I'm not sure why we need both. They both seem to be rewarding work on heritage buildings and trying to improve the amenity. But yeah, if we're creating admin for both, I'm not sure how that's beneficial.
Okay, does anyone also want to speak against the motion?
Not against motion.
No?
Question. Oh, too many questions. I have no vote. Can I?
Call to order.
Put your hand up, you can ask the question.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Councillor King.
Yeah, the heritage is very important and the character of this council, Strasbourg Council. But I'd like to know, through Mayor, I'd like to know the question to General Manager. How many houses or buildings of heritage do we have it in our council? Do you know that? And
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we've got 271 heritage listed items and 17 heritage conservation areas. And I couldn't give you the number of properties within all those heritage conservation areas, but I can take it on notice and come back to you.
second question, through Mayor and the General Manager. Everybody equally, when we have our house is old and damaged, we have to pay ourselves to repair it. But if we have a small, even this small minor grant for the heritage, how much the ordinary people, I mean, who lives in the heritage building houses, how much more they have to pay compared to average ordinary house to repairing?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it would depend on the extent of the works. Some works could be minor, it could be repainting of a fence, for example, right through to significant works such as tuck pointing, the bricks, which would cost a significant amount of money to do that for a heritage item or a property in the heritage conservation area.
Then through Mayor and the General Manager, third question is, if we have to pay for minor grant for the heritage people, how much will it cost for our council to support them to keep our heritage beautifully? Because it is much more expensive than average house. Do we have compared? They have to pay somehow their own cost, and plus the gap, the difference between ordinary house and the heritage house. If we have to pay for them, the gaps, and we have to decide a certain amount of money we have to support them. Otherwise, it's minor work. Minor work is how much money do you think is minor work?
Mr. Mayor, we would come back with a report that outlines the amount that we would be looking at giving as part of the grant program. And usually these grant programs are matched dollar for dollar. So we would have a maximum amount that council would be giving them, and then they would match that dollar for dollar. So for example, if the cost of works was $2,000, they could apply for $1,000 and they would pay the other $1,000. But that's part of the report that we will bring back to council, outlining the amount that we would be looking at.
You happy with that?
No. To decide. Can I suggest?
Yeah. You got three questions already. Anyone would speak against the motion?
Yeah.
I just want to remind Councillor Reddy, Councillor Chai, Councillor Kim and Councillor Bellardi that a couple of months ago that you voted against this motion that Councillor Blackmore put up. It was a report to come back to council in regard to the heritage payments. Yes, exactly. So are you going to vote for it tonight, Councillor? It's a bit strange.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know Councillor Pennsylvania is very used to speaking while others are speaking and not listening when people are explaining the motions, but I made it very clear at the start of this that this is a massively reduced version of what has initially been proposed. It was something I spoke with Councillor Blackmore significantly about prior to putting up, to sort of identify that this is an alteration of what he had proposed. In fact, he was a signatory to bringing this back, as was Councillor Reddy, because it was, in a sense, too similar to something that had previously been rejected within a certain time frame. We've brought it back with an assessment of what we think is a better version of what was rejected. It's still asking for a report. It's severely abbreviated in comparison to what had been initially suggested, and seeking to do the same sort of thing but with a smaller budget and in more specific circumstances, rather than being broad brush and affecting the entire community. We still want to care for heritage. At the time, I didn't believe that there was, I was worried about the kind of budget that might be implicated in such a large project. But this abbreviated version is going to be a small grant sort of program rather than something broad, and still achieves a similar outcome to what had been suggested. And that's, I think, totally appropriate. And I think that some councillors love to bring things back consistently to council. So it's one rule for some, another rule for others.
Thank you, Councillor Baradi. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Bramall, Councillor Baradi, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. Against, Councillor Pesabini, Councillor Noteworthy, and Councillor King. I declare motion carried. Okay. 10.16.
I can't explain if you don't like heritage.
Councillors,
Heritage, I can't explain it.
point of order. Okay, we go into the 10.16, tree poisoning response on the signage at 65 Bosford Road.
I would love to second that, Councillor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Baradi moved the motion, right? And seconded by Councillor Bramall. Councillor Baradi, are you going to speak for your motion?
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, we all received an email sometime last week, I believe, showing illegal works done, or illegal poisoning of or vandalism of a number of local trees in a, actually, I believe, right inside a heritage conservation area itself. Those trees are significant heritage trees, and so I'm seeking, and I'll speak to the motion. So, the motion responds to a heartbreaking act of vandalism, the deliberate poisoning of 2 mature brush box trees just off Abbotsford Road and on Meredith Street. These weren't just trees, they were over a century old, they were part of the character of that street and our Homebush community. Their loss is not just environmental, it's cultural, and actually diminishes the very reason that residents choose to buy into our area, which is our leafy green streetscapes. I'm nothing short of furious at this blatant criminality. I believe we as a council owe it to our residents to show that this kind of behaviour will no longer be tolerated, and has been, unfortunately, for far too long. That's why I'm proposing that we install prominent, permanent metal signage at the site on both Abbotsford Road and Meredith Street, something that clearly states what happened, when it happened, and that council takes this matter seriously. It should stand as a public reminder that destroying our street trees will not be taken lightly. At the same time, I'm asking that we immediately replant, not just 2 saplings to replace those trees, but multiple fast-growing, if possible, native trees that will help restore the canopy and the streetscape as quickly as possible. This is something that is more than just about aesthetics, it's about accountability and stewardship in our community. Our street tree planting program, I believe, is one of our oldest council programs, and it's why people live in Strathfield, because of our leafy streetscapes, as aforementioned. When someone damages public property in this way, the community deserves a visible response. This motion ensures that we send a message loud and clear, and that it doesn't happen again. As per the policy, I fervently believe the sign should stand for 10 years without removal, and to be fixed up if ever damaged or vandalised. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Motion. Anyone want to speak against the motion?
Yes. No, again, sorry.
Are you going to speak for the motion?
I speak as for.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just wonder whether Councillor Bellardi would allow a slight change in wording, so that council install large permanent metal signage.
I'm happy with that.
10 years?
Yes.
I'll put my hand up before I speak.
Hang on, I'm still talking.
No, I'm just thinking.
Councillor Noteworthy.
Waving me away.
As the same sentiment as Councillor Bellardi has discussed, you know, it is disgusting. We see this all the time. The industry that I work in, and this property was recently sold. It is very, very common that trees in this area, people buy into this area and pay a premium to live in this area because of our street trees, our heritage properties, and our streetscapes. But time and time again, it's during this period where a property has sold and the new owner if waiting for settlement, that we are seeing these destruction of trees. So I think that's something that, just to note, that I think our staff need to keep an eye on as well. It is that there is a period there which seems to always occur when there's a sale of a property in the area. We're pretty good at monitoring all the sold signs in the area, and those removed and fined. So I think at the same time we should be monitoring those properties with the trees on the property and the surrounding nature strips.
Thank you, Councillor.
Not against.
Are you going to?
Not against. I was proposing an amendment, if I may.
I'm going to stay. Huh?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for your permission. I was wondering if the mover would be amenable to naming a specific minimum number of trees, because it says trees plural, I admit, but I was wondering if maybe, I'm not sure exactly how big the space is, but maybe 2 or 3 trees, just to, it's quite big. So, because I'm aware every council, I think it was in Melbourne, going with 5, it was in a park, so it's a slightly different situation, but I'm wondering if it's worthwhile putting in a minimum.
Thank you.
If I can speak in favour and in response as well to the councillor through the chair, I think rather than prescribing a number, maybe we can say at the discretion of the relevant staff, if that is appropriate. Or the director, whatever's most appropriate. And additionally, also amend to say, I'll just wait for this to be corrected. And for maybe a point C, to say something along the lines of that council investigate this as a policy to be applied in similar circumstances at the discretion of the director. Thank you.
Councillor, do you want to undertake immediate replanting, or you want to keep the tree there for a while?
Mr. Mayor, just to answer your question, I think, if I can read the policies, I would reword it, Mr. Mayor, thank you for that suggestion, to say undertake replanting of fast-growing tall native trees, so remove immediate, but comma after canopy at the end of the sentence, to say on the advice of council staff. Sorry, if we go back, I'll replace that with the timing of which is advised by council staff.
Thank you. That's more accurate.
Through the chair, the intention is to keep the poison trees. We'll just top them off and then retain them as habitat trees. So the current trees would stay, and then happy to also investigate on that.
Good point.
I think the second is happy with that. So.
Yes, happy with that.
Okay. So Councillor Bremo, you happy with the amendment?
Very happy.
Thank you. Okay. I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hands. Okay, Councillor Bremo, Councillor Pensabini.
Unanimous.
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, or a suggestion, if I can. I believe the council's left the chamber, so he's currently not a voting member of the council, so it's unanimous, but Councillor Nosworthy's name is just not recorded. Instead, he'll just note.
Thank you. That will be accepted. Okay, Councillor Bremo, Councillor Pensabini, Councillor Baradi, Councillor King, and Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. Okay, the motion has been carried. All right, going to 10.17, it's vacant shop fronts that were raised by me. Can I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Okay, Councillor Reddy, seconded. The reason I raised this one, currently in some of the shopping centers, a lot of shop closed down, and that, do I have to stand up?
some of the shop, has been closing down. It's very much affecting the local business. So I raised this one, the council whether have any, try any endeavors to those shops to be opened. That will, help the local business to be active. That's my motion. Anyone want to speak for that?
I'll speak against.
Does anyone want to speak against the motion? Councillor Bremo?
Look, I pulled this one out, Councillor Chai. I'll be voting against it. I just believe that this is something that we should concentrate on our own affairs and what we do. This is stuff that's decided by the market, and I think the market and the private sector can be left to do their job. We already have enough on our plate as a council, so I'll be voting against it.
Okay, thank you. Councillors, anyone want to speak against it? Are you going to speak again?
Speak in favour.
Okay. Anyone want to speak against it? No. Okay. Councillor Brady.
Mr. Mayor, just if we alternate between those speaking in favour and against, it works better than, in my personal view, than clumping together those who speak for and against.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
My reason for speaking in favour of this motion, Mr. Mayor, just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, against Councillor Bene. Just speaking whilst I've been speak. Thank you. Is that a warning for her? Or? Thank you.
Warning?
Who's giving the warning?
Is that a warning? Do I have to leave?
You want to leave?
No, do I have to leave?
I didn't say you are going to leave.
Are you telling me to leave?
I don't say it.
Oh, okay. A warning.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The reason I sort of rise to speak in favour of this is to say that whilst I acknowledge what the previous councillor's commentary was on it not being a core duty of the council to engage with market factors that might be impacting local businesses, I still think it is important to engage in conversations with local businesses who are often ratepayers to understand why they might be struggling under these current economic conditions. And so it's a listening exercise, which we do very regularly and is a core function of the council to understand why our local, whether they're residents or not, local business owners are struggling, if they are struggling. And as they see their neighbours pack up and leave, we want to understand, well, what impacts, what is impacting them and how we as a council could do better or in any way help them. So I think this is a good listening exercise, and that's why I'll be supporting it.
Thank you. Does anyone also want to speak or question? If not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Councillor Baradi, Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. I declare the motion carried.
Against?
Against is Councillor Pensabini, Councillor Lordworthy, and Councillor Bremo. Thank you. My apology, I didn't count you. Okay, now we are going to OLC 2.
I'll move it.
You move it. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Bardi. I'm going to speak for the motion.
Through the chair, I would like to have a small amendment for point 2. Waive stallholder fees. I want point 2 to be point 2 to be replaced by authorize the general manager upon receiving a request from stallholders to determine any reduction in the approved stallholders fees that is determined as appropriate to provide an incentive for uptaking, like, do I go slow?
Yes, slow down.
Oh, I'll just give it to you. Yeah. For undertaking during the trial period. That's it. Sorry, I forgot to give you.
Thank you, Councillor. accept the
I
amendment?
accept, yeah.
Thank you. Councillors, do anyone else wish to speak for the motion?
Just, 1 second, Mr. Mayor, I'm just waiting for the amendment to come on the screen.
Okay. Councillors, does anyone else wish to speak against the motion? If not,
Let them finish the.
Sorry, quickly. Just quickly, just to the mover and the seconder, is 4 months trial period enough?
I think
Take a
that's something we
timely.
could try.
I'll be happy to propose a 12-month trial, and I think it takes time for people to actually get used to something being there. If that's accepted by the mover and seconder. Oh.
Seconder accepts.
can I?
Through the chair, if I'm not wrong, we have been advised that we can't afford to have more than 4 months. Like, it's okay.
Can I check with the general manager?
We are going to be saving $1 million next. So it will be okay. No, I just think it takes time in different seasons, things like that, for it to actually get a trial. And I think this is something that we should be backing as 12 months isn't that long if you want something to go on for years and years into the future.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so the reason for the 4-month trial was to trial the 2 months night markets in January, February, and the 2 months day markets during March and April, allow us to bring that back and then consider what that would look like on a longer term basis. This will cost us probably in the order of $12,000, I think, to run it. For 12 to 16,000, I think it's about 4,000 per markets. The current year's budget is already allocated, so we will have to identify savings or other budget to accommodate it.
I'm happy to redact my previous statement that I accept the amendment. I'll object to the amendment. We'll go with the 4 months and work at it from there.
Okay, thank you. All right, any other debate for this motion? Okay, if not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Councillor Bremo, Councillor Northworthy, Councillor Brady, Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. Against, Councillor Pensabini. I declare the motion carried.
Sorry, I'm whispering. No one was talking. I was whispering to my colleague.
Yeah, but
No one was talking.
you shouldn't talk to.
Am I allowed to talk when no one's talking? Take it back, Mr. Mayor.
When you do talk, right, and then laughing too.
I'm sorry that I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm here. Do you want me to go? I'll go if you want me to go. Sorry, I don't like this. I think I might go anyway.
All right,
Mr. Bellardi, happy?
Just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, consistent disorderly conduct from Councillor Pensabene.
Mr.
It's up
Mayor.
to you what happens, Mr. Mayor, but we've been going on all meeting now and she hasn't given up.
Mr. Mayor, several times during the meeting tonight, the mobile phone was being used by Councillor Bellardi, and in the recording of council meetings and our message to the councillors,
does he use the
mobile phones must be turned to silent so as not to disrupt the meeting. Anyone, including councillors, found using a mobile phone to record council meetings will be told to leave the meeting immediately and for the duration of the said meeting.
Councillor, I didn't allow you to speak.
You didn't allow me me to speak?
No, I don't. Sit down, please. Okay.
Oh.
I'll give you a last warning.
Last morning?
Yes, if you keep doing that, I'll let you go. All right.
Mayor, just a point of clarification. I believe what the councillor was referring to in her comment just there.
Except her speak already. Sit down, please.
But I'm just a point of order, Mr. Mayor, against the councillor's suggestion.
Order, Mr. Mayor.
He didn't accept it.
I'm making clarification.
He's not following your.
I didn't allow you to stand up.
It's a point of order I believe you're required to. If I have a point of order, I believe you're required to allow me to speak.
Yeah.
And my point of order is that he's not following your instructions, not following your resolutions to various points of order, as we are required to do as councillors.
Okay, thank you. Give you
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. My point of order is that you've given one rule for Councillor Nosworthy, one rule for me. I stood up for a point of order. Councillor Nosworthy stood up for a point of order. You allowed him to finish his, and you didn't allow me to finish
I
mine.
didn't allow her to stand up to
You
speak.
didn't allow. I stood for a point of order.
The order to you is correct.
No, it's not correct, Mr. Mayor. That was my clarification. It's outdated and incorrect, which can be clarified by staff.
Check with governance.
Yes, I can confirm through you, Mr. Mayor, that the use of a phone can be used, it can't be used for recording or any other purpose during a meeting.
Yeah. So I don't accept your point of order. Okay, now we go to LC 6, 2024 to 2025, Eric attestation. Councillors, we have an officer recommended for this report. Does anyone want to move the recommendation as a motion in relation to this report? Councillor Rudy, move it. Can I have seconder? Councillor Brady? Councillor, would you like to speak for this motion? All right, councillors, I can advise council that I attended the ERIC meeting of the 23rd October 2025, and I can advise that the committee was very accepting of the attestation statement and congratulated the staff on the work to achieve the compliance level that we have to date, not noting that there is a plan to complete any outstanding matters soon. As such, I will move an amendment to the recommendation that council notes that ERIC has received and accepted the 2024 February 25 audit risk and improvement committee attestation statement with minor amendments, acknowledging the work of staff to achieve the reported outcome. Second, council endorsed that the final 2024 to 2025 audit risk and improvement committee attestation to be included in the annual report as the mover of the motion. Can you accept it? Yeah. Thank you. And now I'm, councillors, is there any debate on the motion? If not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously. All right.
LC7, the public exhibition of draft code of meeting practice. Councillors, we have officer recommendation for this report. Does anyone want to move the recommendation as a motion in relation to this report? Councillor Bramall is moved, seconded by Councillor Reddy. Councillor, would you like now to speak for your motion?
Yes, I'd also like to add a point 4 in the, as an amendment. It has a provision in there, obviously, that councillors have to provide notice of motion 2 weeks prior to the ordinary council meeting. Obviously, I think there's a lot of councillors here who, when we receive 500 and 900 business papers, would like a bit more time to read those business papers. So I would like to add a point 4, that the business papers for each ordinary council meeting be provided to councillors at least 7 days prior to the ordinary council meeting. If you're happy to accept that, I think it just gives everyone time to properly read their papers.
Do you accept?
Yeah, I accept.
Okay, thank you.
Does that mean that the notices of motion have to go in earlier?
2 weeks before.
2 weeks before?
Yeah, about 2 weeks. Thank you. Any other debate for this motion? Yeah.
Yeah, page 127, LC 7, 10.3.
Yeah.
I think the notices of motion should be restricted to 4 per councillor. That at any meeting, that any councillor can only put in 4 notices of motion to make sure that we make sure that the motions are worthwhile and that are doing everything that we can to help our community. Thank you.
I don't accept the amendment.
Councillor Reddy, do you accept the amendment?
No, I don't accept it.
She does, you don't.
No,
Dilemma.
let them have more.
Dilemma.
What if you have 5?
Just 5, yeah.
Yeah, but is 8 an amount to have?
Would be a good motion.
It's not for you to chat, councillors. Councillor Brady?
I just wanted to speak in favour of the recommendation as it is, Mr Mayor. The councillor said that we're meant to be doing everything we can, to use her words, to help the community, but somehow that includes limiting what we can do. Sort of incongruent ideas there, Mr Mayor. So happy to support as is.
Thank you. Anyone want to speak for this motion? If not, I'll put this motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay. GM1, the panel is determining the 2006 citizen and young citizen.
I was the first.
All right.
I move it.
Zambini and the second by Bellardi, Councillor Bellardi. Okay, so, councillors, we have an officer recommended for this report. Can I have the speaker for this motion?
No speaker. I want to nominate.
I get you as a.
Okay, I would like to nominate as being part of the committee.
Okay. Currently we need. Mayor is of course the member, but we need 2 more councillors.
Yeah, I nominate as being part of the committee.
And,
If I could just speak to the motion, I know there's an attempt to amend it, or I don't know what the correct process is, but if I could maybe suggest, I know Councillor Pensabeni took great issue last year looking for this year's Citizens of the Year and whatnot, because it included all councillors. This limits it to only 2, which I in essence agree with. I also think the Mayor's, not to speak about political parties in this chamber, but I on this occasion will, I think it would be appropriate if there was a member of more broad political representation so as not to prejudice what it should be, something that's sacrosanct. So I think I would like to nominate both Councillor Pensabene and Councillor Reddy to be the two participants.
Thank you.
Can I don't recommend that. I don't agree with that.
You don't agree? You don't want to? You say you are going to be the member.
Excuse me, councillor. I would suggest another independent person be on the committee, not a Liberal person, and I suggest Councillor Blackmore to be on the committee.
No. Excuse me. Okay. Deputy Mayor is the Liberal, and you are the Labour. It's fair, and I'm independent. It's fair already. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. One Labour, one Liberal. What's wrong with that? Okay. It's very. All right.
No, you could be another party next week, Mr. Mayor.
Exactly right. You can't say that you're a...
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. More disturbance of the meeting by Councillor Pensabene.
Come on, Mr. Mayor.
Time to go.
Come on. For the last 12 months. Come on.
Okay, give you one more chance, okay? Okay, Councillor Brady?
I just wanted to speak against what Councillor Pensabene said.
All right, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Okay, I declare the motion carried unanimously. All right, we are going to CCS2, draft annual financial statement. Councillors, we have an official recommendation for this report. Does anyone want to move that the recommendation as a motion in relation to this report?
I'll move.
You move. Councillor Reddy? Councillor Pensabene, all right. Councillors, would you like to speak for your motion?
I just have one question.
No.
Okay.
Am I allowed to stand? Oh, I'm not used to it. I don't know what I'm doing. There's just one part of this that I need some clarification on, and it might be through the chair to our director, CFO. The contractor costs have increased quite a bit to $7,697,000, and I was just wondering if there's any reason for that, and will we be getting a decrease over the next 12 months?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So one of the key increases to the contractor costs is relating to some of the operating grants that council had received in 24-25. So as council receives the grant, we've got to do a match funding of the expenses. So as we get more grant income for operations, we have to bring in the expense as well. So that's one of the key reasons of the increase. In terms of whether the expense is going to go up in the 25-26, we'll have to see. It also depends on the number of grants that council applies for. So say, for example, if you get an operating grant of 500,000 in income, we've got to put an expense of about 500,000 as well. So it's not necessarily an expense across council, but it also depends on some of those grant funding that we get.
So it's not an actual contractor that's coming in. Sorry, I read it wrong. Thank you very much.
Councillor Blackmore?
Just a question. I'm no financial expert. I just want to have a bit of a clear thing, because there's a couple of different figures. How much borrowing does council have at the current, currently? Mr. Mayor, so as of 30th of June, council has approximately about $13 million, $14 million in borrowings.
14?
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to clarify. So obviously there's the 2024 column borrowings, 6452. So that's not like borrowed. That's not we borrowed that much that year. Then there's the ads on top. Yeah, it's okay. Cool.
Councillor, does anyone also wish to speak for this motion? Or against? Okay, I now put this motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare motion carried unanimously. Next motion is establishment of a cultural arts and performance center in Strathfield RGA, that's CCS5. Councillors, we have an official recommendation for this report. Does anyone want to move the recommendation as a motion in relation to this report?
I'll move it.
Move it.
I'll second.
Ready? And seconded by Councillor Bensampini. Councillors, are you going to speak to this motion?
It's good.
Okay, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, I declare, Councillor Northworthy, Councillor Pensilvania, Councillor Barty, Councillor Kim, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai.
No, he's not there.
Sina. Okay, I declare the motion carried unanimously. All right, next one, we going to PE2, planning proposal to amend Strathfield LEP. And because I have declared the interest, declared conflict of interest of this motion, so I vacate my seat for Deputy Mayor to chair.
Okay, councillors, I'm your temporary
Chairperson.
PE2, planning proposal to amend Strathfield LEP 2012, amended to Schedule 5, Part 2, Heritage Conservation Area, HCA. Councillor Pensilvania will move it, seconded by Councillor Bellardi. Councillor Bellardi, would you like to speak in favour or against?
What's the mover?
No, I'm not talking.
Thank you,
Not allowed.
Chair. I would just like to suggest an amendment which relates to the reclassification of some homes within the dwellings within the HCAs. I know the speaker at the start mentioned the classification has some sort of harm, to his own property, which is, of course, something that's, I think he acknowledges is out of self-interest, he opposes it, but I do think that the comment around there not being enough community consultation on this or whatever, I don't know if it's necessarily fair, but I do think that because this is a far-reaching policy, maybe an extension of its exhibition is appropriate, or maybe to come back to another meeting. But I'll take comments from the acting director on that, if that's something we can pull out and come back to at a later meeting. If I can ask the question through the chair and the general manager to the director, acting director.
So, through you, Deputy Mayor, in terms of the previous report that was presented to the last council meeting, that was on the site classifications of individual properties within the HCA. and that's currently on exhibition, and councillors would have received an email notifying them that that's on exhibition. All the landowners of those properties received letters and a map. In terms of this proposal, it's a planning proposal. So this report is seeking council's endorsement to prepare the planning proposal. The next step is obviously to go to the local planning panel and then back to council. And as part of that report, we will have a engagement program, but it's got to go through the Department of Planning. So if the Department of Planning issues a gateway determination for this planning proposal, we then go on exhibition, and usually that's 28 days, but council can extend that time frame when the next report comes to council.
Councillor Bellardi.
If I can just acknowledge, thank you very much for that to the Acting Director. I'm happy to avoid any amendments based on that information. Thank you.
Councillors, anybody else?
Yeah.
Councillor Blackmore.
I actually would like to make an amendment, and I'll explain it in a second. A, B and C, I think are fair. I've had a good look at some of the heritage conservation properties in the areas that we're talking about in point B. I think there really needs to, what I would say is that, especially in particular item B, that this be deferred to the next council meeting, and that councillors be provided information on each individual dwelling as to why they received that classification. The reason, and I've printed off some photos, and I just want to sort of give a bit of an example of what I mean. So we've got, in the same street, for example, there's this house, and this house.
I'll hold the first house.
Oh, okay.
I'll hold the second one, I guess.
Oh, thank you. And then there's this house, which to me as a, I'm not a heritage expert, but to me they look like they probably contribute significantly to our conservation area. This one's listed as neutral, that's listed as neutral, that's a heritage property, and it's listed as contributory. So I don't understand how there's a massive, massive difference that they could have a different classification. It's one. That's one example. The next example is on Redmire Road. We've got this lovely red brick thing that doesn't match the entire street. We've also got one in 11 Vernon Street, which is very similar to that. We've also got one on Homebush Road, which is very similar to that. And there's another one on Vernon Road, which pretty much all similar red brick dwellings. These three are classified as neutral to the conservation areas. This one house is classified as intrusive. So I don't understand how that works. So I need information before I vote on such an important change in the area. I personally would probably say they're all intrusive. So I don't think that makes sense. That's one example. And then there's, again, it's a more modern built little house, but look in a conservation style. Probably, in my opinion, is more attractive than that for a conservation style. But this one is also classified as intrusive. So
Sorry, that one's classified as...
This is intrusive. But that one's not. That's Homebush Road. They're both the same. So that's opposite the council chambers.
Yeah.
So I'm just, once I've actually had time to actually go and have a look, I don't know how they've come to these things, and I think that before we vote on this, it's actually really, really important that we get a little bit more information, especially those ones. The other three I have no issue with. Well, I think, I do think we need more information to come back about how those items are classified in each area.
Chair, I'd like to shadow this a motion, I'll be voting against the one as is, and foreshadowing a moving of a motion relating to the report, that it come back to the next council meeting, and between now and then, council laws are provided with a workshop on this matter, in line with some of the questions that Councillor Blackmore was asking.
What you asked me.
Yeah,
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah, I'm just,
you're saying the whole, I'm saying, what I'm.
You're saying just.
I'm saying,
I'm saying some, I'm saying all.
I'm saying we support A, B, A, C and D, and then B, we would get.
I guess my rationale to foreshadow it, or if the mover is happy with it, and a seconder, I'll be happy with it, if we just say that replaces the motion, we don't have to foreshadow and vote. Yeah. If you think that's appropriate, councillor.
So what's the foreshadow?
So, rather than foreshadow, I'll move an amendment, just to say that we delay the voting on this report to the next council meeting, and that between now and then, council laws are provided with a workshop on some of the questions you were asking.
Yeah, on how each
Yeah.
individual house, yeah.
How classification occurs.
Councillors, do you need an amendment, foreshadow, or?
I think it's an amended motion now, isn't it?
I think it's an
It's a
amended
same.
version of yours.
Yeah, that's correct, that's what I'm, just to clarify.
Foreshadow.
Yeah, just to clarify, I've removed the foreshadowed motion, instead I'm asking for an amendment, which the mover said that they're happy with.
ABC stay and D go?
No, instead just the whole thing to come back, to the whole, rather than chopping up the report, just bringing it back to a future meeting to be reported on. But I will ask through the chair and the general manager if that's, in terms of, I know we have active consultation happening, does that impede on what we are currently doing?
Through you, Ms. Chair. In terms of the site classification, that's currently on exhibition because that is an amendment to the DCP. So what we could do is once that exhibition series finishes, we could come back to council in a workshop and discuss the issues that have been raised by the councillors tonight. This particular report relates to an amendment to the local environmental plan to reduce the boundary of some of those heritage conservation areas as identified in the report. So it doesn't relate to site classification per se. We need a resolution to then go to the local planning panel. If we don't get that resolution, we can't go to the local planning panel.
Yeah, later.
So we could, or we could come back to a workshop while the DCP is on exhibition and go through those site classifications that are currently on exhibition.
Asking further questions to the acting director through the acting chair and general manager. So, if we reject tonight's report and seek that it comes back, will that impede on what we're currently doing, or can we do that successfully without too much of a time delay on the work?
So through you, Ms. Mayor, in terms of the DCP amendment, that is currently on exhibition as resolved by council at the last council meeting. So we could come to a workshop and answer questions in relation to those site classifications, and a future report will be brought back to council post-exhibition. And at that point, councillors can make changes to those classifications, but we can have a workshop in the interim to explain the methodology that was undertaken to identify those site classifications. In terms of this report, if the report is deferred, then it pushes out that program of then being able to go to local planning panel and then reporting back, because we have to come back to council post the panel to get endorsement from council, because the panel can only provide advice on that planning proposal. And that planning proposal specifically relates to the renaming, the deletion of those 2 heritage conservation areas and the reduction of those heritage conservation areas. That's all the planning proposal's dealing with. The DCP is dealing with the site classification. Thank you.
If I could just confirm then, thank you. I'm happy if the mover and Councillor Blackmore are open to this, to take Councillor Blackmore's amendment, which is the removal of D, and have a workshop on the methodology which relates to the current consultation.
B.
Sorry, B. What am I reading? B. Sorry, go ahead, Councillor.
I think just through the chair, just to the acting director of planning, would you want these items to all be in one planning proposal, so they'll all be delayed for that period, or is it possible to do it in two separate proposals?
Deputy Mayor, the planning proposal is only looking at reducing the extent of the heritage conservation areas in terms of the heritage conservation areas. It doesn't deal with the site classification because that's being dealt with by the DCP. So this is just reducing the extent, the renaming and the deletion of the two HCAs as identified in the report.
Councillor Bernardi.
Just to clarify that point though, through the chair and the manager to the director, I guess that's understood that this doesn't deal with the site classifications, and whilst we still would like to be have the methodology presented to council laws on that methodology, in relation to this particular report, does it make life easier for you and the staff if this is chopped up and dealt with separately, or if we do reject something now, or would you like the opportunity, or defer something, or defer this to, if we defer this to next month or the next meeting, would you like the opportunity to maybe present on why you might disagree with council laws, for example?
Through you, Deputy Mayor, in terms of deferral, it's probably best to defer the whole report, because every time we make an amendment to the local environmental plan, we've got to prepare a planning proposal and we've got to report that to the local planning panel. So it's probably best to keep an amendment as one amendment rather than a number of amendments.
In that case, Chair, if I can, I'd like to amend to the initial idea, which was to bring this back to next council's meeting, and to discuss both this and its implications, as well as the methodology of the site classifications between now and the next meeting, if that's appropriate.
The council endorse.
Okay. Councillor Pennsylvania, are you okay with the amendments?
So that's the motion now, yeah?
Yeah, it's worked for itself.
Okay, councillors, now we are voting on the
Sorry, 1 second.
amended motion.
Yeah, just sorry, Chair, just waiting.
No, he didn't finish.
Just if the minutes could reflect an additional line after, so for the classification of sites and further explanation of this report, or further discussion of this report, something along those lines. Thank you.
And councillors, are we ready? Okay, all in favour of the motion? Okay, unanimous, carried.
All right, we are going to EO2, vehicle movements and pedestrian access at the crossing in front of Strathfield Plaza. Councillor, we have an officer recommendation in this report. Does anyone want to move it?
Is this EO2?
Councillor Bardi? Yeah, EO2, that's correct.
I second it.
It's already been seconded. It looks like.
Just sorry, just a point of order. The minutes, I've already seconded it and it's been, yeah, thank you.
All right, councillors, would you now like to speak for the motion?
I'll just quickly say, I think it's a great idea.
Thank you. All right, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favour, please raise your hand. Very good. I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay, now we go to the EO3, electric vehicle charging station. Update on the consultation. Councillors, we have an officer recommendation for this report. Does anyone want to move that recommendation as a motion? Are you move? Okay. Can I have a seconder for this one? Okay, I second it. Councillor, would you like to speak for this motion? If not, I now put the motion to the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look, all this recommendation is saying is that as per last council meeting, when we wanted it back by this council meeting, they're pushing it to next council meeting because of the delay caused by the public exhibition. But to speak against the motion nonetheless, I just want to say that I think that this, I wouldn't want someone installing electric vehicle charging stations in front of my home, and particularly because the state government's grant says that it has to be reserved parking for those who are charging. That's why I fundamentally disagree with it. I would totally in favour of this if it didn't require the losing of parking places in front of suburban homes. The fact that that's a requirement of the government grant is a great shame, because it otherwise would have been a great program for this community. I think the 11 locations are relatively well thought out, but that particular requirement means that I'm unlikely to secure this even after exhibition. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I now put the motion. You want to speak?
I think based on, what Councillor Bellardi was saying, I've said that I didn't support this from the get-go. I've seen what they've done in Burwood Council. They look disgusting, and they do take up parking, which should be for our residents. So I'd probably like to change the amendment to say that that no further action be taken in relation to this matter, if that's supported by the mover and the seconder.
Okay, thank you. Does the mover want to, does accept this amendment?
Voting against it. Am I allowed to speak if I'm voting against it?
Second, I want, for the amendment, are you going to speak for the amendment?
No. No, I was going to vote against it.
She's going to speak against it.
Have there been two people against it? That means I can't say anything.
It's a discretion.
Hang on, no, but now there's
Just
an
a
amendment.
point of clarification, Mr. Mayor. More speakers are allowed against a motion and for a motion at your discretion.
Who's the mayor?
Who's the mayor?
Sorry. So do you accept the amendment?
No.
Oh, okay.
You don't accept the
Lost? Okay, now, I put the motion to the vote.
Just to kill it.
All those in favour, please put.
Through the chair,
Say something.
through the chair, I would like to.
Hear what I say. Yeah. Thank you, Councillor Green. I just think councils need to really watch what we're doing in regard to these electric charging stations, that it's become a council problem when it should be a service station problem. It should be at the service station is when they get their charging done, and not in the middle of the council streets. So the time that we take in not preparing these stations is better for everyone. So I think if councils just take it off their books and just leave it be, then the service stations will need to put the charging stations into their service station.
Thank you. That's your opinion.
That's how it works. That's your opinion.
What are we doing?
We're voting.
On what?
That's what.
All right, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please put.
Just a point of order, seeking clarification, Mr. Mayor. Are we voting on the motion as it stands or the amended version of Councillor Blackmore's, and is there a seconder?
He don't accept it already, so we go back to the
She hasn't accepted it.
I think he was in the process of deleting it, and then.
Hang on, hasn't accepted it. I don't know what's going on here.
What is?
Foreshadow it.
Foreshadowed?
I'm just.
Okay.
So we're voting on the original motion.
No, we're not. Now we're voting on the original.
Now we're voting on this motion first, okay? I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand.
On the original motion.
Original motion, yes. Councillor North. Councillor Brady, Councillor Reddy, Councillor Kim, and Councillor Chai, and Councillor Pensabini. And against? Councillor Raymond. The motion carried.
That means the foreshadow is not relevant.
So that means foreshadow is not
relevant.
Carried. Okay, we go into the minutes, Multicultural Advisory Committee meeting.
Oh, can I change my, and I'll just accept that? I pulled that out, but I'll just accept it.
I think we still have to vote on it. Go through the vote.
Okay, I thought we could just.
I put it back in. It's too late.
12.1, quickly put forward. No discussion.
All right,
In that case, I'll talk.
enough mover. Okay, Pensabini move it, seconded by Baradi. Anyone want to speak?
Just a point of order, councillors' names are Councillor Pensabene and Councillor Bellardi. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I accept it. All right, councillors, does anyone wish to speak for or against this motion? No, if not, I now put the motion to the vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. I declare the motion carried unanimously.
Excuse me,
You didn't put your hand, sorry.
thank you.
Okay, for the motion is Councillor Northworthy, Councillor Pensabini, Councillor Bardi, and Councillor King, Councillor Reddy, and Councillor Chai. Against, Councillor Bermore. Thank you.
Now we go into confidential. Okay, closed session. I move to go to closed session. Where are we going? That's 3 jugs of water you brought.
Yeah. I was wrong about the schedule.
Questions? Councillors, question with notice?
I second.
There's no.
Oh, no, there's no question.
No questions. There's no question with notice. Okay, matter of urgency. Councillors, does anyone have a matter of urgency that they wish to bring before the meeting? No, thank you. Okay, councillors, we now have an item or agenda marked as a confidential matter that calls for it to be considered in closed section E04, Strip of Land, Parramatta Road, Homebush.
Pennsylvania.
In accordance with section 10A, 2, C, D, and I of the Local Government Act 1993 and the Council's Code of Meeting Practice, I invite members of the public to make representations as to whether or not this part of the meeting should be closed to the public to consider the confidential items. Confidential item. There will be no
No, I move to close.
There will be no presentations. I move that council closes the meeting to the public for the reason outlined in the report. Is there a second?
I'll second, but
Second.
Councillor Penny moves it.
No,
You moved it, I seconded it.
Okay, then that's fine.
I seconded it.
Oh, you seconded it, okay.
We've got to wait for these to go red.
We're going to vote on it being confidential.
Oh, yeah, confidential, unanimous.
Yeah,
The 50 grand like to go.
Councillor,
Close session.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
Can I vote? All those in favor, please put your hands up. Okay, I declare the motion carried unanimously. Okay, now that the closed section meeting has finished, I move the meeting resume into open section of the council. Is there a seconder?
No, you've done that.
Done it already? Okay.
Oh, sorry, yes, sorry, you're right, no, you've got to move it in, you've got to open the meeting.
Yeah. So I open already.
Now read our resolution for the session.
The resolution carried in the closed section was carried.
You need to read that out.
Which one? Hold on there.
Read this.
For this. Okay. That the council endorsed the investment of the property located at Mararo Homebush, identified as Lot 1 DP 67686 as recommended in council's land and property strategy. Council understands council under section 377 of the Local Government Act delegate to the general meeting the following approval of the terms and the conditions within the contract of sale as prepared by council's solicitors. Unique appointment of an agent to market the property. Is it? The voting of this motion is unanimous. Alright. So, number 16, conclusion of the meeting. There be no further business. I declare the meeting closed. The time being
9:33.
9:33.